Good morning, students. In my last video, I had discussed about the child in Tagore's writings to clearly explain Tagore's poems, The Sailor. You will relate it to the child to clearly understand the poem. So let's begin with the first stanza. The boat of the boatman Madhu is moored at the wharf of Rajganj. It is carelessly laden with jute and has been lying there idle for so long. If he would only lend me his boat, I should man her with 100 oars and hoist sails 5 or 6 or 7. I should never steer her to stupid markets. I should sail the 7 seas and 13 rivers of fairyland. But mother, you won't weep for me in a corner. I am not going into the forest like Ramchandra to come back only after 14 years. I shall become the prince of the story and fill my boat with whatever I like. I shall take my friend Ashu with me. We shall sail merrily across the ever seas and the 13 rivers of fairyland. We shall set sail in the early morning light. When at noontide you are bathing at the pond, we shall be in the land of a strange king. We shall pass the ford Tirupani and leave behind us the desert of Tepantar. When we come back, it will be getting dark, and I shall tell you of all that we have seen. I shall cross the 7 seas and the 13 rivers of fairyland. Now listen carefully to the explanation. I hope you remember about the significance of the child who is also the speaker. Tagore tells us how 2 worlds, the worlds of the adult and the worlds of the children, how they perceive the drift of them lies in their own individual way. The main theme of the poem and the lines of Tagore tries to explain how a child sees the world and how adults see it. What do we mean by the word moor? It is the way in which a boat is fastened or tied with a rope to the shore. So the boat of the boatman Madhu is moored at the wharf of Rajganj. Wharf here means the place or area to which the boat is fastened or attached. Now look at the way in which the poet begins the poem. It begins with a sense of desolation and stagnation. It begins with a sense of abandonment. All these features define the life of an adult who is nearing his old age. So the boat has been moored, it has been tied up. So it shows that the boat is not ready to be in motion. So the boat has been tied up, it will not be taken into the rivers anymore, and it has been lying there for a long period of time, idle. The poem begins with a sense of desolation, as I told you, or isolation. It's lying over there. When we grow older, sad enough, we start feeling lonely within ourselves. We start to feel like all our work has been done, all the responsibilities and duties have been accomplished, and you start feeling lonely deep within yourself. So similarly, as I told you, that the boat represents life with Madhu's boat. It represents an adult's life. Now when the child tries to take the boat out, so then the boat takes the image of the life of a child. It is uselessly laden with jute and has been lying there idle for ever so long. Idle, which means without any activity. The boat has been lying there maybe for years, nobody knows. It is like you can relate to the image where old people of the society are shown to be very lonely, staying alone without anyone to talk to them, without any kind of activity and are kept at bay or pushed aside automatically. Somehow they feel like they are not needed anymore. Their need has come to an end, and they start to feel desolated. They start to feel stagnant and isolated. The feeling of being useless also creeps into them. They feel choked with the sense of uselessness, and it overpowers the elderly people of society as if they are not wanted anymore. Similarly, the boat was lying in a way as if it was not needed anymore, and its purpose had ended. Now look at the way the child starts visualizing the boat in a different way. To a child, nothing is useless in this world. A child always makes the smallest thing in nature beautiful with his own presence. If he would only hand me his boat, I would man her with 100 oars and hoist sails 5 or 6 or 7. Why has Madhu kept the boat so idle? The poet says, if he will allow me to borrow it from him, I will show him what I can do with that boat. See, such a larger than a life dream. He's just a child, but look at particularly the positivity with which he looks at things. The child always looks at the world with positivity and optimism. For a child, life has just begun, and for an elderly person or an adult, his life moves towards its end. A child is always brimming with imagination. For him, all things are new. He is beginning to know the world in his own individual way. So the way he says, I would man her, steer her with 100 oars, such a larger than life dream. 100 oars and hoist sails 5, 6 or 7. I should never steer her to stupid markets. I should sail the 7 seas and the 13 rivers of fairyland. Here the child calls markets as stupid. The significance of the word market is that the poet tries to show the importance of the materialistic needs for the adults. A market here is a place where things are bought and sold. Money transfer is done. Day-to-day food of man gets transferred in the market. It's the place where business goes on. People only think of profit and loss. They think in the terms of money and material. Such a place will of course be stupid to a child, because these things don't attract a child. They carry the meaning of him at all. They appear senseless. There is no meaning to this to the child. It is senseless completely. Instead, he would like to explore the whole world. He would like to see the unseen corners of the world. He would like to see the beautiful world. A market is a limited area. A child's mind is boundless. He wants to reach unseen corners of the world. This signifies a child's heart is very inquisitive, full of questions to which he always craves to get answers. So the child wants to go around to find the answers to his questions. I should sail the 7 seas and 13 rivers of fairyland. They are an idea that stands for the unknown world. The child wants to sail here. It means he wants to travel to distant land unexplored by anyone else. A fairyland only exists in imaginations. Fairies are some fictional characters which exist in our dreams. Fairies are known to have some magical powers which can make our dreams come true. Fairylands are believed to be a happy place. It's a dreamland. So he would rather go to these places than go to the stupid markets. But mother, you won't weep for me in a corner. This line is a beautiful line, which means the child shows signs of maturity and tries to behave like an adult, tries to soothe his mother down, calm his mother down because he knows his mother will be anxious when he leaves. Here again, the mother and the child relationship is defined. As he says, I am not going into the forest like Lord Ramchandra to come back only after 14 years. He says, I will not come back after 14 years like Ramchandra. I will come back by the end of the day. So mother, don't be worried. I will come back by the end of the day. I am not going to a dangerous forest, but just to a fairy land. I shall become the prince of the story and fill my boat with whatever I like. A child always tries to be the king of his world. He does not want to be dictated. Here, boat again is an imagery that stands for life. He wants to fill up. He wants to achieve everything he desires in life. Not like Madhu's boat filled with jute. I shall take my friend Ashu with me. A child's friend is always an important part of his life. You must be knowing that but better. We shall sail merrily across the ever seas and the 13 rivers of fairyland. We shall set sail in the early morning light. Here again, early morning light means the beginning of something new. He will venture into his dreams and imaginations, a life which he has always been craving for. When at noontide you are bathing at the pond, we shall be in the land of strange kings. He says that when his mother will be doing her daily chores and taking a bath at the pond, he will be in the land of strange kings. We shall pass the ford, Tirupani, and leave behind us the desert of Tepantar. Ford here means a shallow place in a river or a stream, allowing one to walk across. He says he says here Tepantar is nothing but a symbol of a dreamland, an unexplored land which only resides in our dream. When we come back, it will be getting dark, and I shall tell you of all that we have seen. Here again, we see how a mother tells stories to a child to help him sleep or to frame his life. The child also wants to tell these stories to his mother. Here again, a beautiful relationship between the child and his mother. I shall cross the 7 seas and 13 rivers of fairyland. The poet ends with a dreamy note. I shall cross the 7 seas and 13 rivers of fairyland. Dreams keep us going. They are the secrets that go on within ourselves. The poem ends with a desire to quench the thirst of reaching the unknown and unseen world. Why a fairyland? We all love to visit a fairyland. We have dreamt of it as children. It stands for a place where everything is happy, everyone is happy and beautiful, and no worries and no tension, no fear, no examination, no studies. Just have a lot of happiness with you.